I like it when I'm more concerned than you are, Elena. That's my preference.
We had a bit of an incident yesterday.
Dr. Francois, he's a beauty.
You boys.
Ah, Mr. and Mr. What?
Yeah.
Yep.
Take me over.
Here on the Vagabond in the Caribbean, you joined us in the Turks and Caicos Islands as we explored what the place had to offer. We were really impressed by its natural beauty. It reminded me a lot of Australia.
Look at that.
Oh man!
Oh,
What?
it's ridiculous. Well, I haven't seen anything like that ever.
Tony and I are making a bread this morning, so I'm just here reading out the ingredients off the internet.
1.5.
1.5 cups, yeah.
We'll defy the recipe. And just add until it gets to a nice consistency.
So we used spelt flour, some pink Himalayan sea salt, some oats, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, honey, and that's it for now. Pretty simple. Oh, and the yeast, I don't know where that went.
But we're going to allow room for expansion. So that'll expand and push it all out. Righto, in the sun.
Well, it doesn't get much better than this. We can't tell how much wind we have today because of the instruments still being out of action. Riley, how much wind do you think we have?
25 knots.
Riley thinks we have 25 knots. And we've got no swell because it's coming from here.
It's like I'm never satisfied.
Pretty gnarly weather headed our way. Well, we're in it right now actually.
Pleasure that you think I treasure. Run away from its feelings, find it sure hard to hide.
Right, ready?
Yeah.
Guess I gotta shake it out my head. 'Cause I got everything.
The weather got so rough that we had to turn around. There's no way we could have made it to the north coast. There was just a bit too much north in the wind, so we've had to turn around and we're going back to, we're going to anchor in front of a white sandy beach for the resort. So yes, and we'll try, we need some supplies actually, so I think the ladies are trying to figure out a way to get to town, is that right?
But there's always tomorrow.
Yeah? Well, hopefully the bread works out.
I don't think we'll starve.
No.
That I do, just like you want me to.
There we go, magic.
I like it when I'm more concerned than you are, Elena. That's my preference.
What did the wind get up to?
Well, I've only got a thing where I can look at it rather than a daily maximum, and I saw 35, so I'm tipping we would have got at least a few 40s in there.
Oops, she's done it again. Turns out this is not yeast. We're not sure what it is. Deja vu, Tony?
Yes,
Does this
indeed.
remind you of anything in
Right,
particular?
so-
Any trip?
Well, Pacific Crossing, we had to use a power tool to cut through it.
So we now have a very dense brick. Sorry to let everyone down. I'm just gonna go check on our anchor.
Love, 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 love it out. Oh, love, 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 love it out. Life's too short to hold it inside. Hey, life's too short to hold it inside. And if you got a heart, then hug, 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 hug it out. Go on, hug, 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 hug it out. 'Cause gonna give all my loving to you. Everything else gonna come on you.
So we came into a marina a few days ago to get some diesel firstly, and also this is the place where we're going to be leaving the boat because we're actually flying to Barbados to visit the US Embassy so we can apply for a US visa and hopefully they approve it and we can start heading north through the Bahamas and up to Florida as soon as it's approved. So this is where we'll be leaving the boat for a can't remember how many days, I think like 4 days or something like that we're in Barbados. So today we said goodbye to Hanno and Stelline. It was actually quite sad. They were so lovely to have on board, like so easy to have on board. So we love you guys, good luck on the rest of your travels. And we had a bit of an incident yesterday, so I'll let Tony explain it to you. Not really good. Please tell us what happened yesterday with your fingers.
Well, Elena, I was trying to be very helpful to you and the skipper because some boats have been coming in very quickly causing wake, and the boat was knocking up against one of the pylons. So I found the pylon that was causing most trouble and put my hand down the side to rub on the boat to see if there'd been any damage, and of course someone came past, caused more wake and squashed my fingers between the pylon and the boat and split this pair pretty badly. So
Really badly.
we went off to see Dr. Francois Bourne at the Menzies Clinic for some short, sharp, shiny surgery.
Yeah, we've been there a few times now, haven't we? You boys.
Ah, Mr. and Mr. White.
Yeah. Should we show the hospital footage?
Yeah,
It's pretty horrific.
cue the footage. Look away if you're squeamish.
So you clean up with the software.
What do you reckon?
I don't know, it doesn't feel good.
That's magic, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
So I went to the beach when all of this was happening, and when I came back, first thing I did was open up the esky to get a drink out with ice. And I'm not kidding, there was like blood inside the esky, and I was like, what the hell? First thing I thought of was like a fish, but I knew the boys didn't go fishing. And then Stelline and Hannah were like, there's been a bit of an accident, the boys are going to the hospital, like do not drink that ice, like do not go near it.
The doctor, apart from being a good stitch artist, is a great fisherman.
And gave us a lift home.
He gave us a lift back to the boat. He's an absolute wizard. Well, Dr. Francois, he's a beauty.
So we just dropped off Tony and Joanne at the airport. It was a pretty emotional goodbye because we don't know when we'll be seeing them again. And yeah, unfortunately it's just going to be Riley and I on the boat by ourselves again.
Just kidding. Just mucking around. No, it is really, really good having guests on board. Like for me, having Dad and Joanne and Hanno and Stelline on board, I mean, they're some of our oldest family friends. And that really was a thrill to give them pretty unique.
Of what it's like. It was good to show them how it is that we live and just, yeah, show them our world for a change.
But what I'd like to talk about now is the series of mistakes that I made and how difficult it was leading up to the point where I said, let's meet in Turks and Caicos.
On this date.
On a particular date, which is always difficult. Generally speaking, I find you either you leave too early or too late. It's rare that you like absolutely nail, okay, I'm going to definitely be here at this stage, and because you got to predict weather and all of that sort of stuff, and you'll either be hanging around whilst you're wanting to push on, or like we were, hammering at last minute and putting yourself under pressure to get from
very last minute
from A
to get
to B.
here.
So if I take you back to St. Martin, I wanted to go spearfishing at Sombrero Island, and the weather, it just looked like 3 days out, it looked like the weather was just going to be flat and calm and beautiful, but it stayed 3 days out for about 4 days. So I would just wait, and in the end I was like, we got to go. So we went to Sombrero Island and we hung out there for a couple of days. Once again, the weather changed when we were there, so it was going to be okay, and then it looked like it would be better if we waited a day, and then we waited a day, and then we should have left the day before. So after we did our thing at Sombrero Island, now we're getting quite under the pump time-wise, and we had to drop Stefan off in the Dominican Republic, which is another thing. I should have said, look, the way everything's panning out, we're just not going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But we did it anyway. So there were some really sleepless nights on the way there.
Oh yeah.
we arrived, I was completely exhausted. We got there was a checking in, checking
We
out.
did get to go on that wicked last minute bike ride.
Yep, but which also put us under the pump.
Yeah, it did.
We said goodbye to Stefan. So then the next day we're leaving again. It wasn't the weather's fault, it was my fault. We had to go up and across rather than straight there, which I should have taken into consideration and I didn't. And that's when I fell asleep near the reef. Then we went in, dodged all the reef, which was pretty good, but the depth sounder wasn't spot on, which we figured out too late. And
also the channel
markers had been blown away, and I made the mistake of deviating out of the channel or letting us get blown across the channel, out of the channel. We were probably trying to go too slow.
For good reason, bloody hell. None of that looks very safe.
And yeah, we drifted out of the channel. It wasn't a big deal in the end because we just got pushed up onto some sand, but we did run aground.
Damaged the rudder a little bit.
And then fell out of the hatch. And then Dad and Joanne and Hannah and Stelline arrived the next day just after I got stitches in. That's just an example of what it took to get from Sombrero Island to the Caicos to meet up with some people. And I think that's a pretty good lesson for everyone to learn from my mistakes. And I'm always saying, like, putting yourself under time pressure is the drama, and I must have made 6 or 10 balls ups there. That was a very detailed case study on how not to run a boat.
Everyone's gone now, obviously, so Riley and I have just Riley mostly today, just cleaned the house spotless, but we still have to empty the fridges and stuff because we are flying to Barbados to apply for a US visa. So that's the requirement. They're not asking a lot, are they? We're going to fly all the way there for a few days, but it'll be fun.
It's nearly as difficult as getting into Australia, I'm told.
Yeah. This is my oldest, most favourite suitcase, and we retrieved it from the forward cabin, and it was covered in mould and all the zips are locked.
Even though it's really, really clean and dry down there, but it's the only place that we could fit it, so...
Yeah, there must have been a tiny bit of water and then it just got a hold of it. So Riley's fixing my stuck zip. Yes!
No.
No?
Not yet. Yes! Got it.
Thank you.
No worries.
The boat in front of us are leaving.
Hey Riley. See you guys.
Safe travels.
Well done. Thank you.
So we're not going to be far behind the boat that just left. We're just waiting for high tide, and we're going to slip the lines and head out to a mooring ball for the night. It's going to be pretty rough out there on the mooring ball, but I think we'll be right. And then bright and early tomorrow morning we're leaving for a day sail. Hopefully we'll get there in a day to our first stop in the Bahamas.
It's 100 miles. I'm pretty sure it is. I need to double check that, but I think it's 100 miles, but we hope to do that from really early in the morning and get there sort of mid-afternoon.
That'd be nice. And with the winds that we have, we should be flying. And what are we up to this morning?
I've just donned, we got a climbing harness when I was in France because they're way cheaper than the stuff you buy at West Marine and all your marine stores. I'm just going to go up the mast and have a look at all the rigging, and I'm going to shorten the halyard for the mainsail by 30 centimetres because Mathieu said, and obviously all of the wear is going to be on all of your reeving points, so you cut off 30 centimetres and it shortens everything so that all the wear is in different places. It's just about time that we did that.
Alright, you ready to go up?
Yep. Alright, hold that.
Last time my neck hurt this bad was when we went rock climbing in France with Lee and his girlfriend. I forgot how much it hurts looking up like this. liked that one, join us next time in Acklins Island, our first stop in the Bahamas. We're really pumped to have finally made it here.
Oh, I was just looking at all of the stuff here, like the countdown and all of that. Oh my God, it's still going.
Just stop the thing.